at Gosford for the first. And they're away. And Gringotts the outside, the best to begin over Think We're There. And Gog Magog slots into third spot early, followed by Squeeze Box. And back at the tail is Rhinestone Lad. Fairly compact field and pushing through on the inside. Think We're There takes up the running. Over Gringotts, content to sit second. A length and a half Gog Magog. Squeeze Box on its outside. And 2 lengths away was Rhinestone Lad, last of the 5. 600 left to travel. Fairly moderate tempo here, and Think We're There, by virtue of the inside, holds out Gringotts. They're 2 lengths in front of Squeeze Box, who's starting to take closer order. Back on the inside, Gog Magog is under a nice hold, back in fourth spot, and working to the outside is Rhinestone Lad. So Think We're There leads them into the home straight. Second, the outside, Gringotts, and Squeeze Box is now cruising up to that pair, out 3 wide, and Rhinestone Lad starting to lengthen down the centre. Gringotts goes to the lead as they run to the 150. Squeeze Box after it, and then Rhinestone Lad and Think We're There. Gringotts in front, close to the line, gets in narrowly. Gringotts over Squeeze Box, Rhinestone Lad and Think We're There for third, and the last one in was Gog Magog. Starter has them, and they're away. Nice line out. Another Will out wide. Narrowly the best to begin. Mogul Monarch's now pushing through in the centre, and on the inside is Atomic Clock, looking to hold them out. No, restrained now, goes back to third. On its outside is Churchill's Choice in fourth spot, and Community back to the tail. So it's Mogul Monarch pushing through and holding out another Will as they run to the 600 metres. They're 2 lengths in front over Atomic Clock. Churchill's Choice shading it on its outside, and a couple away, Community back at the tail, about 7 off the leader, who is Mogul Monarch as they leave the back straight, head down the side. Mogul Monarch by 2 lengths now over another Will. 2 lengths back to Atomic Clock back on the inside, a half length to Churchill's Choice, and about 5 away is Community. Doesn't appear to be travelling all that well. Mogul Monarch is, though, coming into the home straight, 200 metres out, led by more than a length. Another Will called upon the outside to come after it, and they are clear of Churchill's Choice. Mogul Monarch near the inside, narrowly in front. Another Will trying to pick it up, doesn't quite get there. Mogul Monarch narrowly over another Will. They got away from Churchill's Choice, and a good gap back to Atomic Clock, and Community back with it at the rear. In there now, and the starter lets them go, and Light Infantryman out the back in the early part. Fixius is showing speed, pressing forward, going to lead over Hidden Motive. Back on the inside third is Bellenth. On its outside, like Lukey, and tacking on as Light Infantryman back at the tail. Fixius is the leader as they head to the 600 metres by a length and a quarter over Hidden Motive, sitting in a clear second. A length and a half back to Bellenth, like Lukey now going around it out deep on the track, and in the centre of that pair was Light Infantryman. Coming up towards the home bend, 500 metres out. Fixius now only a half in front over Hidden Motive, like Lukey striding up. Bellenth just behind the pace, and right there as well as Light Infantryman, only 3 lengths off the lead. Around the bend, Fixius being tackled by Hidden Motive as they straighten. Hidden Motive goes up to Fixius. They're a length and a half in front of like Lukey and then Bellenth, and Light Infantryman coming through the centre, but Hidden Motive goes to the front inside the last 100. Battling back as Fixius, but Hidden Motive gets in narrowly over Fixius. Light Infantryman maybe third, just ahead of Bellenth, and like Lukey back in fifth spot. Light rain falling in the back straight at the starting point. Nothing in the home straight at the moment, and they're away. Here's a Star has tailed out, missed the start, and Big Mix, not all that well served. It's back second last. Valensword showing speed. Far From Shady pushes up on its inside. Valensaur just shading Far From Shady and is eventually going to work its way to a clear lead. They're about 3.5 lengths in front over Q8, and then Oh Dear back on its inside, a length to Big Mix. And here's a Star Taxon back at the rear, but it's about 9 lengths off the leader, Valensaur. Travelling along boldly out in front, led by 3.5 lengths over Here's Shady. They're about 6 lengths in front of Q8, who's lost ground abruptly. Oh Dear goes up on its inside, and they were followed next out wider by Big Mix, and a couple away is He Is a Star. Around the bend, Valensaur under a nice hold, as is Far From Shady. They are well clear of the others. Oh Dear tracking through on the inside. Q8 now battles away, but Far From Shady runs to the lead over Valensaur inside the last 100, and Far From Shady does enough to get in over Valensaur. Probably 5 lengths away, Q8 in third spot. Next on its inside then, as they crossed the line, was Oh Dear and then Big Mix, and back at the tail is He Is a Star. All set. Away. Not a bad line out. Duluth wasn't the best to begin, but a fairly compact field in the early part, and from the outside gate, it's As You Like It going forward. Takes up the running over Think of One, and Almonzo in third spot. The outside isn't just allowed to drift back now, and it's passed by Duluth and Elite Delight on its inside. A couple of lengths away is Simply Gold, back second last, and Taxonomy goes back to the rear. 600 metres out, the clear leader is As You Like It. It led by 2.5 lengths from a wall of horses. Duluth going on with it, now goes into second. As You Like It 3 wide in third. Elite Delight fourth back on the inner. They're still about 3 lengths in front over Almonzo, who's racing in or trialling in Clear Air. A couple of ways Simply Gold, and not keeping up at all Taxonomy. Around the bend, the one to get is As You Like It. It led by more than 2 lengths. Elite Delight the inside goes to second. As You Like It third, the outer. Running on as Almonzo, but it is As You Like It clear close to the line. As You Like It wins comfortably over Elite Delight and Think of One. Further back then came Simply Gold, followed by Almonzo. Duluth, last one in, was Taxonomy. Clerk of the course in attendance right up behind the gates as well. Blindfold off on King's Duty, and they're away. It was the best to begin. King's Duty over Cutie Pie, pushing through Rebellious Red, and Jimmy Star's going to go back to the rear. Dusty Bay goes up into fourth spot, camped just off these leaders, and then came Chief Conductor. It's well back with Peony and Jimmy Star now taking off 3 wide back at the rear. They leave the back straight, head towards the 500 metres. Rebellious Red, it's a narrow leader as they come to the bend over Cutie Pie. They're 2 lengths over King's Duty. A gap in the field then to Dusty Bay, followed by Jimmy Star working to the outside. Then Chief Conductor and Peony is last into the home straight. Cutie Pie loomed up at the 200 and ran to the lead over Rebellious Red. King's Duty is closing off. Jimmy Star likewise. King's Duty goes to Cutie Pie inside the last 100. King's Duty just in front gets in over Cutie Pie. Jimmy Star out wide got third. Next in was Rebellious Red from Dusty Bay. Chief Conductor. Last in was Peony. So King's Duty taking it out. Ben Osmond for Mark Minervini. Sitting just up off the pace and able to rein in Cutie Pie, who hit the lead stylishly with 200 left to go. Andrew Gibbons for Chris Lees, and for Jimmy Star, coming from last early, finishing off nicely down the outside, Louise Day, Kieran Maher. 6 gets fourth, Rebellious Red. So the red lights showing, and we're about to go. Starter lets them go, and it wasn't a bad line out. Cloudland, the grey, began nicely out wide and is prominent early with Hydrometer, and on the inside is So Be Inspired. Then came Hard to Say, working up 4 wide, going into 4th spot. 2.5 lengths away, Go Isla Go, and Sociable back on its inside at the rear. The grey Cloudland leads them off the back, heading to the 500 metres. Over Hydrometer and out 3 wide was Hard to Say. So Be Inspired 4th, back on the inside, and they're about 3 lengths in front. Over Go Isla Go and a couple away Sociable back at the rear. Cloudland comes around the bend, drifts about 4-5 off the inside. Led by a length over Hydrometer, the outside Hard to Say, and then So Be Inspired saving ground the inner. Cloudland in front, Hydrometer going to it. They're both under a decent hold. Cloudland, Hydrometer maybe got the bob in over Cloudland. In 3rd spot was Hard to Say, followed by So Be Inspired, Sociable, and Go Isla Go. And we're set to go. Trial 8 away. And Gobi Desert in the centre away nicely. It is pressing forward, going to lead Sergeant Major. Divine Benet works up on its outside. Followed next by Altercation, who's on the inside of So Good So Cool, and Impercent goes back to the tail. 500 metres out, Gobi Desert leads them out of the back straight. A length on Divine Benet. They're 2.5 Sergeant Major. Altercation on its outside. A couple away with So Good So Cool, and Impercent tacking on back at the tail. It is Divine Benet now on the inside, leading coming to the bend over Gobi Desert in second. A couple away Altercation, Sergeant Major back near the inside, and then Impercent, followed by So Good So Cool. Divine Benet and Gobi Desert, they're locked together. Altercation coming down the outside strongly. So Good So Cool looking to get a split. So Good So Cool coming after Divine Benet. Divine Benet just in front, just got in over So Good So Cool. Gobi Desert close up between them in 3rd, and then Altercation, followed by Sergeant Major and Impercent, not beaten all that far last in. Satono Invader comes in. Ready to go. Away. Castile Critic, not all that well served at the beginning. First out was Lobbyist. Pushing up underneath it now is Castile Critic mustering, and Cool Summer Nights pushes up in the centre, makes a line of 3. Then Satono Invader and Magatama back at the tail, but only 2.5, 3 lengths off the leader, who is now Cool Summer Nights as they leave the back. So Cool Summer Nights out wide as a narrow leader over Castile Critic. In the centre is Lobbyist in 3rd spot. Working up out wider, Satono Invader putting itself into the trial, and coming right to the outside is Magatama. Around the bend, Cool Summer Nights is the leader. Satono Invader is coming after it strongly down the centre, and from last, Magatama is starting to launch as well. Cool Summer Nights, Satono Invader, wider on the track is Magatama. It is Cool Summer Nights in front though, and Cool Summer Nights gets in. Over Satono Invader, Lobbyist pushed through, got 3rd, ahead of Magatama out wide, and the last one in, Castile Critic. Attendant moving in with Cool Benet the inside. They're away, wasn't well served. Cool Benet is mustering to drive through and be prominent, and Cool Benet, after that moderate getaway, drives up, led over Seriously Hot. So Jetty back on the inside, and Midnight Rabble was next, followed by Hard Yakka. Back in the second half of the field, about 5 lengths away then, was Heliophile, and on its outside, about to a dozen lengths at least off the lead is Kaleo coming to the bend, and Cool Benet going quickly out in front, led by about 4 lengths over Sajetti the inside of Seriously Hot, and then came Midnight Rabble and working to the outside Hard Yakka, but it is Cool Benet travelling inside the 150. Cool Benet about 6 in front over Seriously Hot. Hard Yakka running home the outside, but Cool Benet absolutely romps in. Cool Benet easily over Hard Yakka, Seriously Hot, Midnight Rabble, the gaps to Sajetti, followed by Heliophile and Kaleo. A last one in. Set to go. Movement out wide. They settle better. Out the back early, Blind Squirrel. Idefjord began nicely. After Frost is up there in the early part, and Idefjord is going to push through and lead over After Frost. Kite surfing out a little bit deep and taking off after the slow start. Blind Squirrel now going forward, and that relegates Fanciful back to the tail. Idefjord is the leader, coming off the back, led by a little over a length over Blind Squirrel, working out 3 wide in the centre. Kite surfing. Back on the inside was After Frost, and now hooking right to the outside is Fanciful. Around the bend and they fan wide. Idefjord in front. Moving up quickly on the outside is Fanciful to go and challenge. And in third spot is Blind Squirrel. Fanciful coming after Idefjord. Idefjord and Fanciful come away. Idefjord, Fanciful, Fanciful. Fanciful over Idefjord. They got right away in the end over Blind Squirrel, Kite Surfing and After Frost. Trial 12. They're set. Away. Hellfire away fairly well near the inside. It's going to be outpaced quite easily by Bidwell. Better Late working over from the outside and Be More Pacific. Followed next by Hellfire, settling back midfield. Back on its outside is Easy Trapezy. And about 4 or 5 lengths away is Winter's Ending back at the tail. So it is Bidwell leading as they leave the back, led by 2 lengths now. Better Late sits in a clear second. They're about 6 lengths in front over Be More Pacific. And back on its inside is Hellfighter. Followed next by well back Easy Trapezy and Winter's Ending coming to the outside. Around the bend though, Bidwell is still a big leader. Better Late is still in a clear second, about 3 off the pace. They're a mile in front over Be More Pacific and then Hellfighter. In front is Bidwell. Better Late driving up on the inside. And Better Late's made a real race of this. Better Late and Bidwell, they've hit the line locked together, very wide apart. Be More Pacific, Hellfighter were next, followed by well back Easy Trapezy and Winter's Ending. And we're set to go, final trial of the morning. Away, and Terenda Setter emerges in front after 50 metres and led over Brainwave, and on its inside Silent Uprising and a couple away Bank Heist at the tail. Terenda Setter with an uncontested lead as they pass the 600 metres, led by a length and a half over Brainwave. Silent Uprising third back on the inside, and peeling to the outer now is Bank Heist. Fairly compact field of 4 as they head up towards the 400 metres and past it now. Terenda Setter in front, led by a little over a length and a half, make it 2 lengths now over Brainwave. Silent Uprising and to the outside Bank Heist continues to make ground. Terenda Setter leads at the 200 metres. They're all chasing down the outside. Bank Heist coming after this leader. Terenda Setter in front. Silent Uprising, Bank Heist next. Terenda Setter. Silent Uprising dives late, but Terenda Setter just kept going out in front and defeated Silent Uprising, Bank Heist and Brainwave.